Hi, my name's Philip, and I'm going to walk you through this project I call Plain Vanilla GitHub Pages. The idea with this project is that it's a very simple way to get content up onto the web using Pages, which is the GitHub built-in hosting service. And you might want to do this if you just want sort of a non-intimidating way to become more familiar with how GitHub works, or as a way to prototype, test, and collaborate on content using their really nice version control features. So let's jump in. There's three main sections that we're going to cover, which are all laid out in the README file, which you can see down here below the files. So we're going to look at copying this template and getting that publishing set up. We're going to then create the first page, and then we're going to view that page online. And so pretty straightforward, but there's a few details involved to make that happen. So let's start with copying the template and setting up the publishing. So we're going to come up here to the top of the code tab and hit the use this template button. That's going to get you to a create new repository page. You're probably just going to use your own repo as the owner. I'm just going to give it a name. I'll call this my content ideas. Description is optional, you can add that later, and you can do it private, but we'll just leave this in public for now, and we don't need to worry about including branches here. So I'll just say create the repository. So what this does is, kind of like it sounds, creates a new repository in your account with all the files from that previous repository as a starting point. So you can see the about is gone, there's no releases or anything like that, but you have all the same files and the same README. So to finish out this section, we're going to turn on Pages, the hosting service. So we come over to Settings, and we scroll down to Pages on the side nav here. And for the source, we're going to say main, which is really our only option, and we're going to leave that as root and just hit save. And so what this does is it looks at the files in your repo, and it in the background renders those. It builds out a website based on the files that you have there. And so right now, I'll just switch over to this tab. Right now there's just one page in there, essentially just a home page that talks about the project, how it works, and includes an image, and then links back to the repo on GitHub. So it's going to generate this URL for you. I'm just going to copy this and put it over here back in my About section just to make it easy to get to. So I can just hit that from here at any time. Now it does take a minute to build, so it's probably not there yet. It'll probably return 404. So while it's doing that, let's move on to the next section, which is creating a page. So in the code tab, we're still in the code tab, I'm going to come up to add a file, create a new file. I'm going to name it here. I'm just going to use this name that I already have. So as you can see, for the file type that we're going to use, it's .md, which is for Markdown. There's a link in the README about the sort of syntax for how you use Markdown, which is a really nice, easy way. It's both human readable and machine readable. That allows you to structure content. So, for example, you just use one hashtag to enter a heading, just line breaks for paragraphs. This is some content for this file, and there's some other features too. For example, I'll just throw a list in here. And you can do links as well, so we'll just throw a link in there. I'm not going to put the destination yet, but so as you can see in this sort of edit mode, I've got a heading here, just some basic paragraph content, a list, which looks like, you know, you might write a list in any sort of email or something, and then some bracketing to indicate links, link text, and their destination. You can hit the preview over here to see how this will get rendered out into HTML. You can see the heading, the link is active, and that sort of thing. So that all looks good. So I'm going to scroll down here. This is where we save the file, commit in the language of Git. So there's a placeholder in here. I can say you can add sort of a short description of what this is. You can add additional information about this change, and this is where the collaboration and version control comes in, of sort of keeping that audit trail of what you've done with your content and why. So we're going to have this commit directly to the main branch, because that's what will get pushed out to the page's web hosting. If you want, later you could get into creating alternate versions of your content with new branches. Then you would have to merge those back in if you want to see them on the web. But for now, I'm just going to commit this to the main branch. And so if we look back at my list of files in the repo, you can see the first page.markdown is sitting here in that main directory. I can click through and see the preview here. I can jump back in and edit if I want. I'll go ahead and cancel changes for now. And so that's it for getting our first page up there. Now we want to see the page. So in the beginning, we set up pages, so that should be up and running now. Anytime you commit a new change, it will take another few seconds to render that change and send it up. So let's go check that out. There's an environments area over on the right that you'll see up above, and we can see all of our deployments. We can also get to this with a shortcut using the URL that I grabbed there, but just to show you where this is, environments shows you where this repo is sort of being used. And so we can see here it's been deployed to GitHub Pages. I can say view this deployment. It's going to open up a new tab. Now I'm looking at my content ideas. What I see here right now is the home page that we copied over from the template. But if you just go ahead and add the name of your page with the .html to the end of that URL, it's going to pull up the page that we created there. So here's the live website web page with the file we just created. This will link you back to the home page. And that's basically it to get you started. From here, there's obviously a lot you could do with building out more pages, linking them together, creating some kind of index or navigation to get to all the pages. But that's basically it for getting started. So I hope you found this useful. Thanks.